Take a look at this awesome footage of this nurse shark digging. I absolutely love this video because it's stirring up the sediment in such a perfect way that it looks like it's a fog machine and it gives it sort of an eerie vibe even though it's a nurse shark. So anyways, let's talk about why. Nurse sharks have humongous blocky heads that have a ton of jaw musculature that is perfectly adapted for a feeding mode called suction feeding. With their incredibly powerful face and jaw muscles, they will then create an intense vacuum in their oral cavity that they will use to suction their prey out from whatever rocky crevices they may be hiding in. Which is why you often see nurse sharks shoving those big blocky heads in places where their big blocky heads arguably do not fit. And good news for them, they have plate-like dermal denticles that are extremely well adapted to be cut resistant and to handle this type of abrasion from being in a rocky coral reef environment, shoving their head into places looking for prey. And when I say cut resistant, I mean performing surgery on them with a scalpel or a razor blade is extremely difficult. They will break those blades like nothing. Taking a second look at their extremely muscular face, you'll see their two barbels. They're not fangs. They often look like fangs in a lot of pictures, and they get confused as fangs by a lot of people who don't know any better, but they're actually fleshy appendages that they use to root around in the sediment, hoping to detect signals from their prey. Those kind of signals would actually be the signals of their movement, so pressure waves and stuff. They do not have any ampullae of Lorenzini on them, I believe, so they're not used for electrosense, but rather mechanosense. And once they find that prey, which is often a crab or some other type of crustacean or maybe a hard-shelled mollusk, they will use that suction power to suction it right up, and which it will meet its fate, which looks like these teeth, which are not specialized for piercing and cutting so much as they are for gripping and grinding. They're still very sharp, do not get me wrong, and you'll see the rearward slope means that any soft-bodied organism that they find will have a very hard time escaping, and any hard-shelled organism that they come across, you'll see that they're fairly flattened out too, will be pulverized immediately by those insanely powerful jaws. So long story short, sometimes they shove their heads in rocks to look for food. Other times they shove their head in the sand and dig around with their barbels hoping to find their food. So there you have it, a very long-winded answer to why nurse sharks dig.